Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gabor Apollo here. Welcome to Option Pit, Option Pit family. I'm so excited to be here tonight. Just a little backstory on me. Mark brought me in to help analyze our Alpha AI engine, spotting squeezes. And I've been doing that now for the last 45 days with great success. But some crazy things happened today in the market. One thing we had was Ford said, we're done with all of this EV crap on trucks. We're getting rid of it. Got rid of their $19.8 billion division, probably so some type of profit this year. Seeing how that was one of their biggest loss leaders, it turns out that no American in their right mind wants a truck that runs on electric battery. Then we had Tesla make a big announcement. So be careful down in Texas. Mark, be careful in Texas. We have self-driving cars. Self-driving Teslas are in Austin as taxis right now. So that was some pretty exciting news, which gave Tesla a nice 16-point jump today. Then I don't know how many of you follow along in the crypto market at all. Let's get a show of hands. Does anybody follow the crypto market? Just give me a thumbs up in the chat. Okay. Not lately. Well, Bitcoin this year is only up 1% for the year. This is only the fourth time in its history that it could have a down year. The other three times that it had a down year, it was all due to scandals in the crypto market. So that is some pretty big news that we had come out in Bitcoin. Bitcoin was down as much as 7% yesterday. It battled back today, and it's up 1.5% as we talk right now. PHTX19. The reason that I was chosen to test run this and continue to trade and tutor all of you guys on this and girls, is because I've been working with Mark in the past now and been in the fintech and finpub industry for over 15 years. I've been trading for just a little over 15, about 16 and a half years, actively trading 12 years, where I'm day trading, shorting the market, and trying to find different types of engines, if you will, or scanners, if you will, for lack of a better term, that can help everyday investors in the market, because that's what we are. We're that everyday investor. We are that trader X that we're trying to take over the market. And we're seeing that in the retail option space continue to boom year over year, with more options being traded from guys like us, not the big hedge funds anymore. So that's why I was picked to continue to trade with this and continue to utilize this. And it's been great so far. So we've gone over, is there different from initial releases? Yes, Mike Anthony, there are some really big differences that we have added and changed, and I'm going to go over that here. So guys, welcome to our Alpha AI engine. This is going to be the power of our short squeezes, and I'm going to show you how this engine's able to find these squeezes that are happening day in and day out. It just closed another winning trade today. So these trades are constantly happening every single day in the market. We're seeing these squeezes. Now, there are some things to these squeezes that we would notice. So, for example, we're not following any stocks that are over $20 a share. We are not going to be trading other types of stocks that are double and triple leverage. They may come on the scanner, but we've come to find out through testing that those are just a no-go for us. We can't do that because of the leverage on there. And I'm going to be able to go over that today with all of you. So the big thing is that I'm sure a lot of you realize with GameStop, with Reddit, with Beyond Meat this year, which we did catch on our scan, that short squeezes happen, but typically we're too late to the game. If you're trying to trade VWAP, you missed out by about 4 days prior, and you could have got the option contract or the stock 20% lower. You're finding it that way, crossing the multi-day VWAP. MACD, same thing. Bollinger Bands, you're sitting there watching. You might be able to get in early on the short squeeze, but you missed the big run up to get you up 50 to 60% right off the bat. So these squeezes are happening daily, and they are mechanical squeezes, and there are 4 things that we look at constantly to find these squeezes in the market day in and day out. So again, here are some of the short squeezes I was able to take advantage of, probably about 85% of them. Some of them I missed because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but not to matter. There's plenty more to come out. Just this week, last week we had OI. We closed out 16 days for 105% return. ULCC, little hint, we are back into this trade. In 22 days, 114%. GOSS, which is up ridiculous right now. I'm going to go over that later on. We were able to close that for 19% or 19 days for 33%. WVE, let me see if I can get my face out of there. WVE, that was a monster winner. That was crazy because during that whole trade we got in, we were down 30%. And then all of a sudden our tripwires started hitting. Squeeze happened, volume picked up on the stock, and boom, within 7 days, we were up to 158% return. And then we have LAR at the bottom. You can also see GOSS, like I said, 19 days, 106%, same contract. And then these are the other scans that we were able to take advantage of. PAC-B, 175%. Well, that needs to be updated, actually, because it was the first trade on that. We were out at 40 for a 100% return. And then we were out at 62 for 175. So that does need to be changed. MIST, which I will be going over today as well, because that stock is still in play and has just exploded again after taking a huge hit. But we were able to take 48% in 4 days. As you can see, LUNR, 21 hours, 58%. Lays again, 120%. And then Lay is the last one that we were able to close out of. We went from 38 cents on the call option to $1.25 in 6 days for 230% return. B, these are all option trades for the most part. You may get one stock out of every 25 trades. So I'll go over and answer those back to you here at the end. We'll go over it for a little Q&A. Was it 2 weeks ago? Last week, I closed out SPCE Space for 100% return. That was in 24 hours. LAES again in 2 days. ONDS, that was a stock play, 580 to 910, 21 days. Eric, that was a stock play and an option play. We did the option at 85 to 135, and we rode the stock for 100% return. Like I said, we had MIST at 93% in 16 days, out at 87 cents. And then LAC, the stock went from 285 to 685 in 43 days, and that was a 230% return. So I'm willing to bet, besides a couple of these stocks that I just mentioned, that some of them, not a lot of you are going to realize what they are. Not a lot of you probably know these stocks, because I know I did. I didn't know about all these stocks because there's a lot of differentiation in there that we have to go through and dissect. And that's what is great when you have Mark on your side. There's nothing like having Mark Sebastian, who helped design this, on your side. He's a 20-year trader. He is a market maker for over 20 years, and he's been on the CBOE floor for that same time, since 2002, when he caught his first short squeeze. Now, he's the brains behind the operation. I am just, if you will, the dumb jock. No, I am just behind him, helping him out. I'm like the Wizard of Oz, and he is the great and powerful Oz. So I'm here to help you out. Mark's giving us the trades, because when we get these scans that come across, sometimes it doesn't spit out the exact option ticker symbol. And then Mark helps us find the best option play, and I'll be going over how we're able to take advantage of that. And the best part about this, so I've been trading this for roughly 45 days now. And Mark's first trade when he was on the CBOE, and his largest trade on the CBOE, was a short squeeze, which I find kind of ironic that he comes out with this product that's able to scan and give us short squeezes every single day. And then his biggest trade was a $1 million trade on NFI, which is a mortgage company that's no longer in existence. They went out in 2008, like a lot of people. But the short squeeze happened because Mark, as a market maker, you're only allowed to trade 40 to 50 stocks. Those are what you focus on. And it just so happened Mark started to see this squeeze happening on NFI, where all these buy orders were coming in from all the other day traders, brokers, because they needed to cover their butt on the short side. So they had to keep buying the stock back to offset their loss and hedge their loss. And Mark was able to trade it all the way up and make a nice $1 million day simply on that. So here is MIST. This is what I wanted to show you. It came on our scanner on the 14th. Some of us are still in this trade. As you can see, we have here 11:14. Here's the scan telling us right here, MIST active 250 calls. Now you can see that it says 250 calls. The reason we have Mark in our corner trading with us, putting actual dollars behind it as well, is because Mark's going to tell us, look at that option contract. Because I remember when this came out, the open interest on the 250s was extremely low, which means that there was nobody to take the other side from you. So there was no one else to buy it. However, the $2 calls, which Mark recommended, that is where we were able to take advantage of this trade. Mark saw that, issued the $2 calls because open interest was a lot higher, and it gave us 50 cents less that it had to climb. And that came on the 14th. We closed out last week. And then I believe there are still a number of members that are in this trade. And then 30 days ago, we caught run on 11:10, and we were able to take advantage of this. This came across Mark's scanner on 11:10, and then on 11:28, we were out for $19.50 in the calls. They were trading below 5 cents to get in. In the last week of October, we had Ranny on October 27th that hit the scanner. The 250 calls came across. We were able to get in on 1027 for those 250 calls, and this was when Randy was trading at 180. And as you can see where I'm pointing, this is when we got in. Randy was at 180. We had the 250 calls. And then 3 days later, we had that run up here on that squeeze where we were above 250. And we were able to exit out of Ranny. Some got out for 100%. I was out for 33, 48, and 92%. So this short squeeze that Mark has helped build with our short squeeze, our short AI engine, it anticipates these short squeezes and follows along in the market. We have 4 specific points of confirmation that you're not going to be able to get with one scanner. So if you're studying on VWAP or Bollinger Bands with the MACD, you're not going to be able to spot any of this. These are 4 separate confirmations that it's able to look at and give it to you on one screen. So you're able to analyze, say tripwire 1 is there, tripwire 2 there, trip 3 there, trip 4 is there for the final confirmation. And then we're ready to take advantage of it. These alerts come out automatically to you. So they can come out to you via text, push notification, email. If you're sitting in the chat all day, or even if you're sitting in the chat and you have it on a separate screen and you're just working because you work from home or you're working in the office, you can set it up to have an audio ping where you'll get a ding come across. You look over, see the trade, copy it right into your online brokerage account, hit enter with the exact buy price instructions, and you're already into the trade. It is that simple. Why do you only trade on 20 and under stocks? Why not more widely traded expensive stops? Okay. Guys, just hold these questions. I'm going to go over those with you. You're going to see why here shortly because I'm going to be going over our tripwires. Now, these are why some of you may be missing out on these trades. We're not able to spot the squeeze. I didn't know how to spot these squeezes until it was already too late and the stocks run up. So I was trading on VWAP the day that it was squeezing higher and higher. You're using the wrong system. You're using Bollinger Bands. You're using Yahoo Finance to spot squeezes. You're using Bollinger Bands, VWAP, MACD, volume, if you're trying to monitor that. And 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you're too late to the game and you missed that initial 100% return because you're going between 7 different scanners and nothing is just right there in front of you to take advantage of. So this is what our AI engine looks like. We can see the date right here on 10/14. We got the Beyond Meat $1.50 call options. It says active. We hit our scan 1 for tripwire 1, tripwire 2 hit, tripwire 3 hit, and this is the big reason we have Mark trading with us because now we've added tripwire 4, which has helped mitigate a number of losses, and we've been able to just bang on through, and I've closed 8 winners in a row, 3 of which have been triple-digit winners in the last 2 weeks. As we can see, we get the Beyond Meat trade. It was at 79 cents. We're being told to buy the October 24, 10 days out, $1.50 call options. And then we can see Pack B on 10/23, same thing. $3 calls. It was trading at $1.95. We hit trip 1, 2, 3, we got the calls because Mark looked at this and let us know we're going to take these contracts. We went from $20 to $40. So B, if you buy 10 of those contracts at 20, you went from 200 to 400, a lot bigger than what you just posted in there. Now, here is a picture of the call option for the Beyond Meat $1.50 calls. They were trading at 7 cents. So for somebody like me, the way that I trade this service, I trade in equal dollar amount values. None of my trades will go above $250 because you're going to be putting on a lot of trades that you'll be holding. Typically, we're holding about 6 to 7 in our portfolio at a time, maybe a little bit more here or there. However, this came across our scanner at 7 cents. So if I'm following my logic at 7 cents and 250, I'm going to buy, we'll just call it 18 option contracts. So on October 14th, I bought 18 option contracts for $250, actually $257. By the 21st, so in 7 days, that call had gotten all the way up to $300 a contract, $3 per contract. So at 18 contracts times 300, that's $5,400. So I put $250 and walked away with $5,400. Now that's an example. I did not do this trade. I missed it. I came in late to the game. I didn't take advantage of that, but we had members in this group that were trading this. And if you put $100 in, it turned into $4,186, $4,184. Nice 4,100% return. If you only put $50 into that, cut it in half, 2050. And this is real money that Mark's putting in the game. So there's nothing that tells you that somebody has your back and somebody's going to do everything they can when Mark and myself are actually trading this with our own money. So it's not like we want to go out there and get losers. Mark's in here always trying to find the best trade for everybody. And we're always tinkering with our AI engine to make sure that it's getting rid of all the noise and we're finding the best trades for our customers. Now, here's the AI engine for Honest Company. It snagged it 2 weeks ago at 11.7. The 11.21 250 calls were at 19 cents right here. 19 cents. I sold 3 contracts a week and a half ago now for 64%, and the last 2 for 89%. The final one I held, I think I netted out 100% return, which we'll be able to see in my track record here shortly. But we were able to nab this, and then in roughly 6 days, we were able to walk away with a nearly 75% return average based on all that. Mark and customers that held for the Mark instructed were able to walk away with 100% return. And last week and just yesterday, I jumped on OTLK and I hit again. I was able to close out of my trade today. The 11.18 calls, we bought them for 33 cents, and I was able to get ready to squeeze out of them. We are in the money on these options right now. They were as high as 50 cents today. So we were in the money on these trades. The trades currently, I think, because Mark told us to get in on the OTLK $2 calls, we're in the money right now. It's at 238, and it has gone up about 15% the last 2 days, even with a red day the other day. So keep that in mind. If anybody's looking for it, I just gave you a trade to follow along. So what really is a short squeeze? What is making these companies like Beyond Meat, Lay's, Honest Company, WV spike? It's quite simple. There are four reasons why. We have too many institutional traders betting on it that's going down, so they're shorting the stock, buying puts, and the market is overweight to one side. So it's overweighted to the short side, so there's not enough people taking the opposite side of the bet against them. So then these same traders, when the stock starts to go the other way, when they're shorting it, betting it going down, and it starts going the other way, they need to buy back the stock so that they can offset their loss. And as they do that, it starts to continue to go higher and higher and higher. And by the time that it's already beginning to go up 10, 20%, we're in the middle of the squeeze, because then it's on everybody's screen because the volume has skyrocketed to where everybody's buying in on it. And somebody had asked if something had changed between last time the Alpha AI engine scanner was up and now. Yes, there is. We now have 4 tripwires, and this was a big adjustment that Mark made and noticed, and we've been able to take advantage of it every single day since he's made that change on the 13th of November. So tripwire 1, that is our put demand. That is telling us that it is overbought on the short side. So anything that's a 10% or above, that is going to be tripwire 1. So if our put demand, meaning that people are betting it going down, is 10% or higher, which as you can see here, I have it filtered by highest to lowest here. All of those would qualify for tripwire 1 because the put demand is so much higher than the call demand. So there's no one to take the bets. So as these stocks go against the grain, these guys, the hedge funds that are going against it, will have to buy back the stock to help offset their loss. So tripwire 1 is put demand, and that is our first key. As long as it's above 10%, it's in play for us to look at. Tripwire 2. Tripwire 2 is the stock price. Now, somebody could look at it and think, why does stock price matter? Well, stock price matters because if the put demand is above 10%, and it's above 10%, the stock should be theoretically going down, but that's not always the case. So we're looking for stocks that are moving against the norm, which would mean they're going up, which is why you get a green arrow. So as you can see here, ARDX was at 51%, and we got a green arrow in tripwire 2. So we've already hit the 2 tripwires. Again, the same thing here and same thing here on play. We hit the 2 tripwires. So those are starting to come to play, and we're looking at those, and we're looking for tripwire 3 confirmation. So tripwire 1 is put demand. Tripwire 2 is once the put demand is above 10%, that the stocks are moving against their normal direction of going down, and they are going up. So tripwire 3, this was the one that was added. I think it was Mike, you asked about this. Tripwire 3 was added. This was the big game changer that was added by Mark, and we have been able to use this to assist in us closing winning trade after winning trade the last 2 weeks. So in tripwire 3, it measures our stock volume. We want to see the stock volume increase. So when I say stock volume increase, for those of you who don't know, you can see the average volume per day of these stocks and what they trade at. So let's just say if it's at 4 million and the stock and we're at 5 million already by 1 p.m., it's going up. So therefore, we'll get a green arrow there for another confirmation for our 3rd tripwire. So as you can see here, all of these tripwires are hitting. However, right here, BMNU, we didn't hit tripwire 2, so it would not be in play. But ARDX, FIGS, play, they could be in play. Tripwire 4 is the frequency. It's the frequency, however, of 1 and 2 hitting their thresholds that day. So we want it to be above 3. So as long as we have tripwire 1, 2, and 3 in the green, we need this to be at 3 or more. So this is saying that the put demand has stayed above 10%, probably, and we are going up going up in value, and they're hitting at the same time. So now last week we were able to take a nice win on ULCC. We got the trade on 11.12. As you can see here, the option right here is telling us to get in at $6 calls. However, because we have Mark and myself in your corner, Mark looked at it. He saw that the option open interest on the $6 calls was very, very low. So he got us into the $4 calls. And if we see, look, the stock is already at $4 and it was already in the money, and we were spending 50 cents on that. No problem, Mike. So 50 cents on that. So $50 for 1 contract. So B, if we bought 4 contracts, that's $200 for you, like you were saying. $200 leading to 100% return right here. So ULC hit at 50 cents right here. 12.2, I was out at 85 cents for 70% return. And then we were able to close even later for a nice 114% return. So let me just go back real quick. So we got in here at 50 cents. I think I got in at 48. whatever it may be. But we were able to close out for 114% when it was all said and done on the last one. So if you listen to Mark's instructions, he says buy at 50 cents, put a sell alert immediately for 100% return at $1. I like to take some off the table, especially when I'm buying more contracts. So I always try to get the first one off. If it's above 60% really quickly, I'll take some off the table, which is what we saw here. And then 11.12, here's the longer option contract of it. 12.3 exit, I was out at $1.10 for 114% return. So it went from 0.50 to $1.10, $1.10 times 4. That's $440 B on a $200 trade. Again, a little bit higher than what we're seeing there. But we were able to take advantage of that. And I was out at 110. This stock is still zooming and going up in value. And we are actually back in on a trade with this stock. But this stock had gotten up to $1.55, a 200% return. So if any of our members are still in the trade, you might want to start to look to exit. I know this week we're in the money right now on those $4 calls. And I think we're well into the money. I think we're at 507 a share on that. And so you might want to look to exit. If you hold till the end, congratulations. You might be able to get it for 250, 300% return. But right now you're already at 200%. It's a great trade. MIST, like I said, I wanted to go over this. MIST, Tripwire 1, put demand was above 10%. Tripwire 2, the stock was moving against the grain. So the stock should be going down. It's going up. Tripwire 3, our volume is surging. And then Tripwire 4, we had a confirmation of it hitting 1 to 11 times. So we got the option from Mark in the system at 250 calls. We looked at the open interest. We looked at the volume trading on those. And Mark decided we were going to go with the $2 calls for 65 cents or better. And as you can see, we were already in the money with that. Now, MIST on 11.14, we were able to get in 50 to 60 cents. I was in at 50 on the dot. Currently, it's at $1. I actually got out of this trade completely for 84% return, but currently members are up 100%. It got as high as $2 a contract because the stock shot up to $3 a share today. TMC was another big winner we got on Black Friday. Hit our scanner twice. Hit our scanner telling us to buy the exact same 750 calls. As you can see here, the put demand wasn't there, but Mark said it's showing up twice. That's a sign. We looked at that, and that's why it's great to have a seasoned veteran in your corner assisting you every step of the way with his own money, as well as giving you these recommendations. Because you can see here, technically it's not on our scanner, but Mark looked at it, liked what he saw, and we got in on the 55 on the December 12th, $7.50 calls for 55 cents or better. Our target exit was $1.10. We hit that very quickly. 11.28, we were out. We were in at 40 to 65 cents. I got in at 42. I was out at 95. A nice little 110% return. I got a 50% return right away at 67 or at 69 cents. And we were out yesterday for roughly right around $1 at 95. I got filled, which was great. OI hit, and I did see this come up in the chat already. OI hit on, I believe it was the 17th. We got the December 19 $14 calls. It was trading at 13 a share. 12.3, I exited for 105% return. 12.10, my final contract, I got out at 165. If anybody is still holding this, they are up over 200% right now. Because most likely what happens is when we get into these trades, if you follow with Mark's instructions and you get out for 100% return, he'll tell you, hey, close. If you have 4 contracts, close 3 for 100% return, and we're going to let one ride. And that's how we're able to really hit on those higher percentage wins and turn a 50-cent investment in or a $50 trade into a $200, $300 trade. Oh. Let me just go back real quick. And as you can see, I wanted to make sure that we had some proof. There's my OI option contracts closing for 165% return. Average cost basis I got in at was 34 cents. I got out at 90. for 165%. Here we have another one, Gauss. I'm not sure why it's not coming up here, but Gauss, we were able to close this week as of this, closed last week and this week. We closed on Friday, but we came across our scanner right here, Tripwire 1, 14%. That's above 10. Tripwire 2, we can see that the stock's going up in value. Volume is picking up. 13 times we got the confirmation. $5 calls are what it told us to look at. However, Mark saw what the stock was trading at, looked at the time frame, looked at the open interest of it, and looked at it and said, we can get the $3 calls for 35 cents. It's less risky. We're going to take advantage of that trade. Then we had this, 11.19. I got in at 33 cents, 12.3 exited at 106. And as you can see, here's my Gauss trade. In at 34, out at 69. Nice 106% return right off the bat. So up until this point, nobody knew why these short squeezes really happened or that they happened this commonly. And it happens a lot more on these stocks that are under $20. That's why we are following along with stocks that are under $20, is because squeezes happen more frequently. Now, most people aren't trading them because they are penny stocks or smaller cap stocks. Our AI engine anticipates these mechanical squeezes and targets triple-digit returns, which is what I went over with Mark's instructions. So we get triple-digit confirmation on these wins, on triple-digit wins, and we're getting quadruple confirmation now. We have our fourth tripwire with new parameters. Currently closed 5 winning trades. I should have changed that this morning. It's actually closed 6 winning trades in a row, sitting right at 84%. And the average cost of these trades is no more than $75. If you're trading with $75, the odds are you're buying 2 to 3 contracts with how cheap some of these are. And just no stop on these trades? Typically not, because DJ, typically there's no stops on it because we have seen these stocks go, we've seen these trades go down 70% in a matter of seconds. And then 2 days later, they skyrocket back up for 110% return like we saw on WVE. So show of hands, who wants to see the track record that I currently have? Anybody? Nobody wants to see the track record? Oh, okay, B. Guess B's the only one talking in here tonight. All right, let's open this up. Okay, let's zoom in. Okay, so here's all the trades that I've been able to keep, that I've been tracking right here. Currently on my trades that I were implementing, keeping to $150 to $200, I'm up $500 thus far. As you can see, there's our honest company trade out at 31%. I rode one out for 100% loss, unfortunately. STNE, I didn't show that, but this was a one that we were able to get in, get out. 80%, I sold the first contract at 30% return and then rode it for another 50 and then 187%. That was a monster win. Here's PAC B, what we were talking about. ZVRA, again, here, guys, it's not every single trade's a winner. I did have a 33% loss here. PAC B, 69% win from 23 to 40. WVE, here's the 169% win. B, the timeline is we're holding roughly about 30 days. 30 days. We're buying options about 30 days out, and we're seeing these spikes happen. Some happen that same day, especially if they hit our scanner with multiple tripwire hits. Sometimes it's anywhere for 3 weeks, the week of. LAES, 16% winner. UPXI, I closed the first one out. UPXI closed the first 2 out for 33%, and then unfortunately it did expire worthless, so that was 11%. DPRO, loser. Ranny went over briefly. Now here's the Beyond the Meat one that everybody else was able to get in on. I day traded that, bought the same day, bought the same options. I bought them at $319 and then sold them at these prices. So I was able to walk away with about $150 on that trade that day. Very, very quick though on it. Ranny, the 250 calls that we took on Ranny was a nice 141%. And then look, B-Fly, loser. HMY, loser. ULCC, 53, 69, 114. OI. OI has been a good trade thus far. 100% right off the jump, 76, 121, 165. Now, you can set up stops as you're up 100%, so you can get those locked-in gains. That might not be a bad play. But I will say that they have gone down to maybe up only 40% and then skyrocketed back up 170% to 170% return. So that is the risk that you'll take. But if you're okay with closing out of the trade and taking money off the table, go for it. I do it all the time. If I miss out on an extra $100 here or there, it is what it is. I closed out and made a winning trade and was able to walk away with enough money to buy gas for the week. LAR, I was able to close the first one half at 51%. Got closed out today for not minus 65%, so 7%. EOLS 100%. Dawn 100%. So the losses happened before that edition. Yes, Mike. Yes. So not every single loss happened, but so for example, EOLS, Dawn. DPRO, UPXI, ZVRA, Coors, all of those losses happened prior. So we were able to limit the amount on them. The other ones I'm not counting as full losses yet because I still have trades sitting out on them. And then my other account that I've been trading with, I've been trading this one, trying to keep to 10-round lots. The reason I do that is because then I can take a big portion off the table right off the bat for a nice 50% return right here. So you can see that I got out of 4 contracts for 50% return. And this one I've only been trading this way for about 3.5 weeks, give or take, maybe 4. Without the holiday, if you include the holiday, then definitely 3.5. With the holiday, 4. So you can see here, run. I was able to get out for the right at 10% right away, let it run for a little bit. Well, DJ, I can't show any of the most recent trades because they are still open for some of them. So it's not fair to some of our loyal customers that are in the service with us. I can go over some trades and give you a hint if I'm still holding a position or not, if that will suffice for you, DJ. HNST, completely out of that. Nice 73% return. ZVRA, again, you saw that on the other side. It was minus 5%, but I closed all of these for a 38% winner. And then it just flipped the other way. I like to sell early if I can take a little off the table to try and mitigate my loss. So that was only minus 5. STNE, monster trade here, 30% off the bat, 47.5. ULCC, this one I'm completely out of. But DJ, I can tell you right now, we are looking and we, I believe, got back in on our ULCC. Yeah. ULCC, the $7 calls came back in. I believe we're back in on the 5s, the $5 calls instead. TMC, still in this trade. So this is a trade that we're still in. We are still in on those trades right there, DJ. So we're still up on the position. It's currently at 90 cents right now, this option contract. So I'm in at 65. I still have 3 more positions to close. So I'm right now on about a 40% return on the remaining 3. B, that's correct. The market is completely different than it was 6 months ago. The market's completely different every day with where we're at. And that's why you have somebody like Mark in your corner, somebody that was able to change it. Because in the very beginning of the year, I'll be completely honest, the AI engine from, I believe it was it was July to late September was averaging a 94% win rate. And then we saw things change. That's why Mark added the fourth tripwire. He added the fourth tripwire after we had some losses come across on the side in September, late September to October and into November. We were just getting all these false readings, and he wanted to wipe all that out, which the fourth tripwire has helped us do quite a bit. SPCE, we were able to get in at 20 cents, and we were able to roll this. This is, I rolled these in for 13 cents, came out at 4 for a minus 69% loss. But as you can see, had I sold them, I would have been able to walk away with 100% return, or 170% return on the last two contracts. But I wanted to roll them into the $5 calls for the following week after the fact. And unfortunately, it didn't come to fruition. OI, here's the winner I was telling you about. We were able to get in. How many total trades did you open and close, and how many winners, losers on these total trades? It was right up here. 15 wins versus 8 losses. That's open and closed, or that's closed. Closed is the only trade that matters, PHTX. That's all that matters. So I closed 23 trades. Of those 23 trades, 15 were winners. So right around, what is that, 60%, 67%? Yeah, 65%. And 2 of those trades that we were in were for minus 5%, minus 7%. So it is registered as a loser. However, that's right around break even. I probably paid more in commission. And here's the 2 losers that I did show earlier. And as you can see with trading round lots of 10, it's a lot different picture at $876. And I haven't been doing that for that long, though. So just keep that in mind. So you've seen what I've said, and I don't want you guys to take my word for it, because in our chat room, in our private room, we are constantly helping each other out. As you can see, you had Vic and Mattman. They made 400+% on those Beyond Meat trades. Matt, again, 250%. Jepta, the ULCC trade, sold earlier at 82. If you remember, we were in at 40 cents. That was a great trade. TMC sold the profits and then bought some shares, which is a great trade. And you can see, Vicky, here's the SLS trade. We just got into this trade. We have just got into this trade. She closed 2/3 of it for a 92% win already. So she closed 2/3. So she's already going to make money on this trade. The worst that she can do is 33%. SLS, Rawhide got out, and he's holding 2 for 30, which is great. Congratulations to those 2. And then we have a number of other. You have Hilltop Steve with a nice win on Beyond Meat. Carlton telling me about the ULCC trade, 85 to 90. And then on top of that, his spice trade. Carlton's only been in the service for about 2.5 to 3 weeks. So he's relatively new, and he's been able to take advantage of all these trades. Nina, this is the Beyond Meat trade, again, that we've seen here time and time again work, that everybody got into. As you can see, here's mine. I got in late on that. I was able to get in 355, averaged out at 355 on the exit. Now, our watch list for tomorrow. This is important. So our watch list tomorrow is SANA. Give me a second real quick. Let's look at this. SANA. So I want to give you guys something to look at. Okay, Peter, perfect. I want to give you guys something to look at. SANA. This is on our watch list for tomorrow. Okay, so we are above Tripwire 1 at 10%. Put demand. Tripwire 2, it's going up in value, which is pushing against the grain that it should be. It should be going down. It's going up. Tripwire 3, our volume is spiking. And it hit 5 times today. Now, some of you are probably like, why is it listed as a watch list? If it did all this, it happened after 3 p.m. There are rules to this. We don't take trades after 3 p.m. However, if we're looking at this, we're right at $5 a share currently. You can buy the in-the-money calls expiring on June 16th. At the $5 calls, you can probably get for 50 cents. Who wants me to look to see what those calls are trading at right now? Peter B, anybody? Who wants to see what those calls are looking at for ASNA or SANA? Okay. Now, the one good thing that Yahoo Finance does allow you to do is it does allow you to look at the option contracts by themselves so you can see them going up. One thing we'll want to look at is when we're looking at this, here's their average volume, 5.3. Today, it was about 200,000 more above it. So that will be on biggest gainer or biggest returns or biggest gainers on Yahoo's ticker symbol, which will help increase its volume tomorrow. Where are we? Options. There we go. So it's a December. No, we don't want to go that soon. January 16th. Let's go $5 calls. 1 month. So these are currently trading at 19 cents a share or 19 cents a contract, excuse me. SANA, December $5 or the December 2025 $5 calls that expire on January 19th. Now, just to make sure that you guys saw that, these are the ones that expire in January. It's just showing the date. Come on. There we go. January 16th, $5 calls. Here they are right here. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. So there we go. Thought that was a little different. So these are sitting right at 50 cents for the January 16th $5 calls. They're sitting at 44. They had gotten as low as 36 on the 9th. So this is on our watch list tomorrow. So I can tell you, because I know Mark, I've been trading this system. We're going to be looking at these $5 calls tomorrow. Probably if we can get them under 45 cents or under 50 cents, we'll be looking to take that trade. Just everything's lined up for that. And especially if we get that confirmation tomorrow on our scanner, we're definitely doing that. If we hit that confirmation tomorrow, this will be one of our trades. Now, you kind of have two choices to find these trades. You can search swaggystocks.com, which monitors Reddit. It just doesn't tell you when to buy. It just monitors the sentiment. You can join Reddit and try to get these trades in one of their chat rooms in Wall Street Bets, or you can have a veteran and our AI engine working with you every step of the way with Alpha AI. So those are the two options to find these squeezes day in and day out. And one of the benefits that you get when becoming Alpha AI engine member or Alpha AI member is you have access to our boot camp. Our boot camp goes over these tripwire instructions that I went over tonight. You'll be able to leave the boot camp knowing everything about our product, knowing everything about these tripwires that you need so that you can actually take advantage of the trades. So some members, they like to take advantage of the trades the second they come on, and Mark might change the option symbol or option dollar amount from 750 to 5, which changes things. So we might have a winner when you might not, which is why you want to follow along and take advantage of the boot camp, because it does address these different buys for the stocks versus the options. Bonus 2, you get our head fakes, 5 quality stocks to buy and sit on for the next time being. As you can see, we have a couple of them already listed here. Eric went up from 98 cents to 7.11. RCAT, we're actually in an option trade. Anybody who follows Ticker Highlight Show, Mark got into the RCAT $7 trade right now, $7 calls. SMR went from 486 to 44. So these are the types of not long-term, but stock plays that you'll get right off the jump to take advantage of once you're a member and you're in the room with us on a consistent basis. Bonus 3 is you're going to learn our advanced squeeze techniques. I was not privy to this information of these advanced squeeze techniques, so I did not know, nor did I understand what they were. I was listening in the chat, and I was hearing these members telling how they're rolling into the next 2 weeks, the same call option for the trade. And I'm like, how are you doing that? Well, I took advantage of the advanced short squeeze techniques, and I was able to roll over a couple of my calls into other contracts where it just pretty much is if that contract's trading at 50 cents and you're up at 45 cents per contract, you only pay $5 to get into that trade and you're in at 50 cents. It's a cool way to get into these trades and roll over to continue to play it, especially if we keep having them hit on our scanner over and over again. Now, number 4 is our momentum class. This is where you're able to follow along, to follow the momentum and take advantage of these triple-digit returns time in and time out. The class that Mark puts on every Tuesday at 12:30 is great. You're also going to get access to me. I'm trying to get with Mark to set up a time where I'll be coming on for training to show you guys how to utilize the AI engine and how to take advantage of the trades that come out in real time. But you'll be able to take advantage of that and get access to that on all these flyers to get these triple-digit returns on these squeezes that we're constantly seeing day in and day out. With our membership, we have a 14-day money-back guarantee. So if for any reason you're not satisfied, if you don't like it, you can ask for your money back. We're not gonna keep the money from you. We want you to join and take advantage of it. This is the reason why Mark has invested his time and his money into building this. And this is why he puts his own money in these trades, because there's nothing that says it better than when somebody else is putting their own money on the line. That's just proof that the system does work. So when he's putting his own money, I would tell you to go talk to another trader out there with something like this. I can tell you that they're not putting their own money on the line. 97% of them are not putting their money on the line. Mark is very genuine in this, and he's putting his money on the line under these trades. So when we have these winning trades, he's in it with you, which is something that is not seen that often. So you can get direct access to our AI engine, live ongoing data calculations with our Alpha AI, our triple-digit trade confirmation that we just turned into 4 now, the audio alerts, the advanced notice trade alerts, 24/7 chat room, our short squeeze course, and the guidance of Mark for his 20-plus year trading experience on the CBOE. You can join all of that. You can either look at the 1-year option for $19.99. We have the quarterly option for $9.99. And then we have a monthly option as well, which if you just click that link below, you'll be able to see that link in the chat, and you'll be able to see the 1-month option, which is going for $249 a month. So come join us. We're able to help you out and walk you through this process. And there are some things I do want to go over. Some of the FAQs that I get from time to time from our new members in the chat, whether they're in this chat or whether they're with us in the live stream, is how much do I need to trade this service effectively? It really depends on what you're looking to get out of it. I will say with these types of trades, you want to do equal dollar amount investing. My first couple weeks trading with this, I was keeping it to $100 a contract or $100 per trade, because these contracts you're able to buy 4 contracts, 5 contracts, 6 contracts. I have increased now to about $250 per trade, where I've been able to see my wallet grow quite a bit. And these trades are very simple to implement. It's just call options. So you're able to take advantage of that, just buying a call, and that's it. The hold time is right around 11 and a half days. Sometimes we're out the next day in 24 hours. Other times we're holding until expiration because we're in the money and we're looking for that triple-digit return. Is this day trading? In short, no, it's not day trading. And do you need to be logged in all day? No, you don't need to be logged in all day to the chat. You will get the email notification of when the trade comes out. You can get a push notification through our app of when the trade comes out as well. However, you can be logged in all day in the chat and be doing work like I do every single day. I am constantly working elsewhere, and I'm working. All of a sudden, I'll hear the audio effect come on. I look over, see the trade that just hit, and I know how to implement it. So it's a very, very neat aspect to getting in on those trades that you don't need to be logged in all day, but you can take advantage of it if you want to. Now, I want to bring it to some questions. What kind of questions do you guys have for me? Because I know there has to be a number of them out there. I know that we went over this, and I know some of you wanted to see some trades. So what are the questions I can answer for you? So Gary, Louis, Peter. Yes, he's involved in every trade. Yes. It's not just the engine sending out the trade alerts. The engine produces the alert. It tells us to look on it. We have a timer set for, it's a 60-minute timer. If it's still on there for 60 minutes, that's when Mark implements the trade after he analyzes the option symbol, which is why the option symbol changes. Great question. How far back does the consistency go for AI? So when we first had it with only the 3 tripwire confirmation, that went back to March of last year, and that was at 93%. So it was from March till September is 93%. Then we noticed that we were getting in a lot of, for lack of a better term, fake outs and shakeouts. So we noticed that we were getting a lot of those on our AI engine, and they weren't real short squeezes. Once Mark noticed this, I will be completely honest, we did have a run where, because of that, we had closed a number of losing positions. And then once he made that change to our 4th tripwire, we've been able to close several winning positions in a row. A number of those have been for triple-digit returns, like ULCC, and we've been able to take advantage of those. Okay, B, what do you mean, how are those filtered out? How are the fake outs filtered out? Is that what you're asking? Okay, perfect. So that's what the Tripwire 4 was in, or Tripwire 3 was introduced for. Tripwire 3, if you remember, is the volume. Before that, we didn't have the volume scan on there. So it would show that stocks are going up and they're hitting all 3 of Tripwires. However, there was no volume behind it. And so we did get into a couple of those that looked like that. And now that we have the volume behind it, we know that the volume is creeping up, the volume is going up, and therefore we are getting ready to enter that mechanical squeeze. Jim, that's a great question. The trades should try to happen within 24 hours. So what I mean by that is ULCC, Mark came out with that trade. I didn't get in it until the next morning. I got filled at the exact same price that everybody else did, at 40 cents a contract. And I was able to get in the next morning. So as long as it's still under that buy price of what it's being recommended at, Jim, it's very advantageous of you to take it. Unless it's recommended under that buy price and it's like the final week of that option contract. But if you still have 3 more weeks of operating for expiration, try to take advantage of it. Have any other questions? Congratulations, Michael. Thanks for joining us. We'll be seeing you in the room tomorrow. I'm excited to help you out with your trading. Awesome job. So do you guys kind of want to see the engine in real working time? Okay. All right, let me get out of this. Now, I hope Mark's not staying because I really don't want him to look at me showing you guys this because I don't want to get yelled at. Jim, that's a great question. That's what options open interest is. That's what I was referring to. When some of these option contracts come in as an active play. For example, let's just say SATL, we got in on this trade. Mark looked at it. We didn't do the 250 calls. I'll just leave it at that. We did another call that begins with a 2. Because the open interest or option liquidity wasn't there at the 250s. Do you get what I'm saying on that, Jim? Okay, perfect. So options liquidity and open interest, that's the same thing. So let's go look at let's look at the 10th. Okay, so the 10th, we had some trades come out here with Vail and HBAN. As we can see here, we had the active trades right here telling us to buy this. Remember, HBAN was on our wait list due to the fact that it came in after 3 p.m. It was on our watch list, excuse me. And AGNC was on our watch list as well. Let me pull up something. So it's able to spot these. And if you want to even look, where's Vail? We'll look at Vail. So Vail on the 10th, right here, 10th, 1210, we can see, what was it trading at? 1210. 1210 right here is at 1281, and it was telling us to buy the 1350 calls. So right there is when you could have got it 1270, we'll say, is what the stock was trading at. And then it skyrocketed up 75 cents roughly to 13. What's the tip of that? 1330. Jim, that's another great question. You're looking at anywhere from, I would venture to say 3 to 10. 3 to 10 trade alerts per week. Now, I will say we did have, when we only had our 3-digit scan or 3 scanner on there with our Tripwire 3, we did average, there were a couple of days there where we had 7 to 10 trades a day. And since we've added that to get rid of those fake outs, it's mitigated a lot of those trades to where we've been able to get out of. Okay, let's go look at OTLK. Okay, OTLK, currently at 209. We got the trade alert for this at, lot details, on 11/18. So right here, we got the trade alert right here on 11/18 to buy the, what was that? The $2 calls. That's not what I want. There we go. Thought it looked a little funny. So right here, as you can see, this is why it's very important that and remember I was talking about how we can get get this trade information, and we don't want to set the stops because of how quickly it can drop. So on 12/18, it was sitting at $1.76. We bought those $2 calls for 47 cents. It went up. I think maybe by the 20th, we were only up like around 5%, maybe down 5%. But then right here, we were down 45% on this trade. Now, this trade's up 33%, and we are well in the money on the $2 calls that we bought. I sold a little bit of this today for a 40% return. And I have 2 contracts sitting out right now for 65 cent sell. That would put me at 102%. B, the trades are communicated via in the chat. We have it populated in the chat, which then kicks out an email to you or a push notification to you. So I really want to go over this with you guys so that you guys have a better understanding. Do you take every trade that is sent out? I try to, Peter. If I try to, and I try to get in at the best fill prices. If I don't get in, I don't get in. You can't cry over spilt milk. Because sometimes if I'm not paying attention, I don't get in. And it ends up quite a bit, which I'm happy that that everybody else is able to get in on that. So this is really what I want to go over with you. When you're looking at this, you're getting all of this value. You're getting, and the big thing that you're getting in this room is you're getting the guidance of a 3-decade trade veteran who is going to be going over this with you in the room, answering your questions, literally talking to you almost one-on-one. And so if you have questions, call us at 888-872-3301. We'll be able to answer questions for you. We can even give you live demos if that's what you want to see. That's what we have our reps teams for, so they can set up a live demo time for you. So if you have questions in reference to, So if you have questions in reference to any of the order forms, the trial period, etc., give us a call. sign up for a quarter. I believe the quarterly rate's actually knocked down to $7.99 a quarter. To be honest, it's not $9.99. B, scans are done every second the market opens. It's on a 5-minute delay, so it's constantly scanning every single second of the day for trading from 9:30 to 4 p.m. Trades are communicated after the scan hits. It shows active. You then have a timer set. We set a timer. If it shows it's active at 2:15, we have until 3:15. If it's still showing active, then we will begin to implement the trade that Mark is looking over. So it could be the same exact option price. It could be a different one that has better liquidity. You get up-to-date information. It needs to work on the delay in order to make sure that the verifications for the triple and quadruple confirmations are hitting. If you don't have that, then you wouldn't be able to get in on the trade. So it does give you that information right off the bat. I know. And with a short squeeze, typically they don't follow along with market rules. Hence MIST. Go look at that stock real quick. So again, if you're looking to join us, please click the link that I have in the chat. Come join us. We'll be able to go over this with you. We'll be able to walk you in every step of the way, and we're here for you. It's nothing better than having Mark have your back every single day in the trading room, as well as being actually in those trades with you. So feel free, if you have questions, give us a call, please. It's 888-872-3301. And look forward to seeing you guys in the room. Already seeing somebody. We're going to see Mark here tomorrow. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us. And I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow during the chat. Have a great day.